Alrighty! What's up, everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Sunday afternoon, well, late Sunday afternoon video, almost Sunday evening, or kinda is, because it's dark here, dark here in New York. But we'll call it a Sunday evening video, right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. And as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down in my goddamn pants, otherwise known as the description box below. So, do it now, and subscribe to my channels right now. Leave a comment on this video, or any one of my videos from the past, the present, or the future, Conan. So do it now, don't leave stupid comments. You know where you're going, to that shadow realm, that evil, dark, filthy, scary, and mysterious Shadow's Lair, where Satan and Ozzy will eat your goddamn fucking soul. If you don't like it, tough shit. And don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to share the video all over the internet. And please tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because you missed the next one, well, you are dumb, and you're SOL, you know what that means. And if you don't know what it means, well, tough shit. That's that. Ugh. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab the tasty cold one, and enjoy the show. You like it? Great, you know, there's the door. Don't let it hit your disgusting fucking ass on the way out. That's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday, football Sunday, week 16 in the NFL, the league where they play. Poupée. Pretty much almost over. We got the Sunday night game tonight, the Patriots and the Ravens. Should be pretty good. Patriots have to win the whole that AFC East, because the Bills beat the Browns today. And for the good old New York teams, well, the only good New York team is Buffalo Bisons right now. Giants, once again, another fourth quarter fest. They go to 2-13. Oh, yeah. And they got the Raiders next week. And you can't beat the Raiders, that's sad. Then they got the Cowboys to finish off the season. I think we're going to get another 2-15 from the Giants. Another top 5 pick, at least. Could get the number 1 if they lose both games, but I mean, we'll see. Not that it matters, because whoever they get in the draft is going to suck and probably not play anyway. And the Giants the only way the Giants can actually be a good team is if, they get an actual head coach that can coach. I doubt there's anybody that can coach this goddamn forsaken team. And they could get maybe some guys in free agency. See what happens with that, but the Maras are probably one of the worst owners next to the Will Puns, if you follow the Mets. Ugh. Glad they're gone. But it is what it is. But the Giants need a shake-up in the worst way. Same thing for the Jets. The goddamn fucking Jets. Go down to New Orleans and pretty much lay a fucking egg, because they, the second string or the third string quarterback is garbage. Garbage. So the Saints whoop their fucking ass 29-6. Ugh. So the Jets fall to 3-12. See what happens with them. I don't even know what they play next week. I think it's Miami. I forget. I don't even care at this point. But what I am caring about is tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. The 49ers maybe not clinch yet. I think they don't. Well, if the Lions lose, I think they clinch. But they win tomorrow. They go to 11-4. Leapfrog the Rams for number 5 seed. One back, and they'll stay one back in the Seacocks. No, I didn't say Sheacocks. I said, well, I could say that too. I only say that because my brother from another mother, you sexy beast up there. We gotta hit that number 1 seed, brother. Make it happen. Talk to the guy up there. That guy, right over there. You know who he is. No, not you, Terry Funk. You're a great man, but, you know, that's my brother-in-law, but, you know. I want your brother to know that I was a hardcore legend in Japan. Japan, #1. Forever! Okay, Terry, he knows, okay? He knows. Never! Okay, stop. Guy's a maniac. Anyway, we got that. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with the Niners. And then Sunday Night Football next Sunday. Niners at home in Levi Stadium in that great city of Santa Clara, California. Well, next to San Fran, of course, too. At home, prime time! Like tomorrow night, next Sunday night, and probably, if we get lucky, another Sunday night game against the Seacocks. Not the Seahawks, they're Seacocks, because they suck. And if you're a Seacock fan, you know why. So, everybody in Seattle. Those Seacock fans. Garbage fans. Worst fucking fan base next to the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry. How about them Cowboys? Bye! Another year in Cancun. Hasta la vista, bitches. Love it. Love it. Alright, so we got more football, coming away. Later tonight, tomorrow, the big one. Oh, I'm nervous, but excited at the same time. Have to win tomorrow. Have to win. But even if the Niners lose, still, they have pretty much almost a chokehold on the number 6 seed. But, and it's a but, Rams have to lose next week. Seacocks have to lose next week to Carolina. But I don't even think it matters because if the Niners lose, there'll be 2 games back. So the Niners may have to win the next 2 games just to get the number 1 seed, or possibly the number 5 or 6 seed. So they control their own destiny right now. So squeaky bum time. That's what it is. Tomorrow's gonna be squeaky bum time. And if you don't know what squeaky bum time means, it means put your hands on your ass and get nervous. Well, make sure you wipe after. No, I'm just kidding. Moving on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you would think I'm at Collision right now. I said I was going to be at Collision last few days, but, woke up this morning not feeling great. I was achy and just nasty. And I wasn't hungover. I was just a mess. So, decided, you know what? Gave one of my friends my ticket, and I said, you know what? It is what I know it's one of my birthday presents, but, I was like, you know what? I got better birthday presents coming on my way anyway, so. But that's that. So, it's okay to miss Collision. It's okay. It is Collision. I was like, Collision. I heard Dynamite last night at the Hammerstein was very good. Very good from the, what people told me and everything. But the tape is going on probably right now. Who knows? But, yeah, some good stuff in the, Continental Classic, which I think ends this week, actually. We'll see it. I mean, it's taped tonight. So, pretty much the finals, the Gold and Blue League finals will be pretty much set. And it's a dogfight. And I'll talk about that in a little, in my, next video. With my Dynamite Collision and Collision review. Because 2 collisions this week. So I got that. Lots of stuff in AEW right now. It's crazy. Probably one of the best Continental Classics in the last 4 years. 3-4 years. Anybody can win that now. even a guy at 0 points could possibly, get a win, but I think with tiebreakers it's just messed up. Because anybody can win that right now. People got 7 points. That's like a 5-way tie with 6 points, and I think in a gold league. Oy. And I think Roddy just, 2 matches left. He's gonna get 6 points, maybe. We could have a match at World's End just to get to the Gold versus Blue League final. So that guy who has to do that has to face off probably 3 times. It's insane. Maybe, well, not 3. 2 times. Yeah, because he has to get in, then face the champion of the Blue League to get the Continental Classic title. I still think it's going to be Okada and Takeshita. Oh boy! Last night, I think it was, was it last night? It was last night or this week. I have to look again. Okada and Kevin Knight. Interesting stuff. I'm not spoiling it, but we have that. We had a segment last night with MJF, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve. Both of them were in the balcony. Not fighting, obviously. They're in different parts of the balcony. So, had that. More of the Continental Classic. The Babes of Wrath are supposed to be fighting tonight against Hyann the Huntress and what's her name? Maya World. Yeah, it could have been fun to see. Honey! Cameron. Danny L, for those people that don't know her real name. And then you see Willow Nightingale, the rest of the fun girl. Bam! But I've seen Willow on the indie circuit, so I care less. I have seen Danny L on the indie circuit too, but never met her, but I met Willow. She's a fun girl. She's a fun girl with... That's pretty much it. But yeah, if you're there tonight, have fun! Or as that little meme used to say, have fun! Wang Chung. Everybody had fun tonight. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. If you don't like that song, I'm sorry. That's a great song from the 80s. The best decade ever! You don't think so? Kiss my ass. I love the 80s. I mean, last night I was at a 90s concert. But it is what it is. Good stuff. But... good stuff. Check out my Metal God channel for most of the footage I took. I didn't take a lot of footage because not this phone, the backup, my actual phone. I was gonna record on this, but the battery was dying so bad. I was like, oh fuck this. So I had to hold off on charging with that phone. I'm charging with my actual work phone. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna get a lot of footage. And yeah, I got copyright claims. I care less. This doesn't mean shit to me. But sometimes I win the disputes. But other times I get denied. But I'm like, alright, I don't care. It's not a strike. So. But check out the Metal God channel for great tunes that you'll love and love from great bands here in New York. And my voice is not great right now, but... regular. It's an actual can. Actual can. Actual can. See? Not opened. But, hey, you want to call me a hypocrite because I'm an alcoholic? You think I'm an alcoholic? I don't even drink hard liquor. Black cherry, that's what it was. It was black cherry soda, not hard liquor. Just had the name that sounded like hard liquor, but it was not hard liquor. But But yeah, I love my Jack and Coke. I mean, I had 2 last night. I'm a social drinker. I don't drink just to drink, you know. I go out to party with my friends or with the missus. It's okay to have 1, 2, 3, in her case 5, but no, I'm kidding. No, she's a party girl. What do you want me to do? I can't stop her. I mean, I have to, but sometimes, you know. Then she just gets wild. Anyway, but you can call me a hypocrite for saying I don't drink, and I don't drink when I'm doing videos. You know, if I admitted that I had a alcohol in one of these, and well, I do have it. If I poured this into here, you can't tell if this had anything in it. If this was clear like it is right now, and I pour this in, there's no mixing, moron. Because I have no liquor. If I had liquor in my fridge, then you could say something, but you can't now, so shut up. But keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. When you are high and take 6,000 shots on your garbage fucking live streams. Hey, but hey, if you get views off being drunk, go ahead. I don't care. I don't care. I don't need to get drunk to get views or whatever. Anyway, moving on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this Sunday evening, December the 21st, 2025, 4 days away from Christmas, level 49 coming up as well, and the end of the year in 10 days. So, we are at the countdown. We're pretty much at the countdown now to the greatest day in the world and the end of this godforsaken year. But on your Sunday evening, right here on the Killer Demons channel, once again, my name is Peter Joseph, your tribal god of extreme. And as always, you must acknowledge me, and if not, I'll make you. But I digress. I am a content creator talking about the wonderful world of professional wrestling, any other sport, except like really shitty sports like golf. But in any case, I am a content creator talking about wrestling, sports, music, movies, whatever it may be. And if you like it, great. You know, go fuck yourself. Get out. But you'll stay because you got nothing to do. To be watching football instead of watching me and doing this long intro. But, because that's all you got. After I start talking about wrestling or something else, bye. Well, nice knowing you. Thanks for the view, asshole. But we move on. Alright. On this Sunday evening, it is time for your late and out-of-date TNA Impact Wrestling and Ring of Honor reviews for this past Thursday night, December the 18th, 2025. Alright, TNA Ring of Honor ending, pretty much got one more show. We got the Christmas shows coming up. And that's the final shows of the year. Then, New Year's Day is pretty much taped as well. They've already been taped in advance, I believe. Or just got maybe recap shows, which I don't care about. But we'll be back with TNA Ring of Honor on January the 7th. With, not new episodes yet. I don't know if Ring of Honor, if they have new episodes coming up, but I mean, we'll see. Because I don't think they taped at the Hammerstein. They would have, but I don't think they did. They should have, because a lot of people go to the Hammerstein. It's legendary building for Ring of Honor. I mean, it's basically the place that Kevin Steen built back in 2010, 2011, 2012, and on. Until he left. But, legendary place. Legendary. Not just for wrestling, just for concerts alone. Let me move on. Grand Ballroom is always, another mecca with TNA. Been there in the Grand Ballroom upstairs. Raw. In the early years of Raw. Ring of Honor. As well. I don't think anything else wrestling-wise. I could be wrong, but anyway. Alright, so let's start with TNA Impact Wrestling. As, we have the big one, basically, TNA NXT War Games! 10-man cage match. Should have been a bigger cage. It looked like a rinky-dink WWE cage. Black bars, by the way. So, it's not like, the steel, the steel stuff, the gated, like you look at a gate, that's what it is, a steel fucking cage. But, this cage gave me, old school WWE vibes with the blue bars, but now this one had black bars. I'm like, wow, they got the cage that Stone Cold and Vince McMahon fought at St. Valentine's Massacre, probably one of the garbage pay-per-views of that year. That was just a throwaway pay-per-view. Which was the debut of Paul Wyatt, aka the Big Slow, trying to help out Vince. He threw Stone Cold into the cage broke, and Stone Cold went whoop, pop, and he won the match, and Vince McMahon was like, what are you doing? Surprised he didn't go, Paul, you're fired! Would have fired him and probably went to TNA. Imagine a Big Slow in TNA. That would be weird. It was kind of weird when Kurt Angle showed up. I'm like, Kurt? He had a good run in TNA. I wouldn't say anything bad about his TNA run. He had a great match with Samoa Joe. His first feud was with Samoa Joe. That was epic. Then with AJ, then he had one with, I think, Abyss. I think one with Jeff Jarrett. I think one with Christian. But he had a good TNA run, and then kind of came back. But I still don't understand why he had a retirement match against Baron Corbin Corbin and lost. That one, because like, huh? People have these retirement matches against credible talent. Kurt Angle retires and he loses to like a mid-carder like Baron Corbin. What's even worse is Cena losing to Austin Theory at Mania. You would think that Austin Theory gets butt kicked. Wrong. I think everybody and their mom had Cena to win that match. I had it. I was like, Austin Theory wins at Mania? Huh? And then the next, I remember that after that, he went on Raw and he got booed out the fucking building. Not like Roman getting booed out of the building when he beat Taker at WrestleMania 33, or Walter beating Cena at Saturday Night's Main Event a couple weeks ago. I mean, that was nuclear heat. I mean, Austin Theory barely even got close to nuclear heat. But then he got destroyed by Roman on the mic. Your daddy in here now. Shit. The Golden Goose, yeah. Get out of here. Pretty much Austin Theory's career went. Pfft. Now he's back as the Masked Man. I hope it goes somewhere, but we'll see. Alright. Alright, so that's the big match for TNA Impact Wrestling this past Thursday. We'll get to that in a minute. But we are emanating from the El Paso County Coliseum once again in Eddie Guerrero's hometown of El Paso, Texas. Scared them Cowboys that night. Right, Eddie? That's right. I'm still pissed off. Okay, we know. Eddie's mad because Rey Mysterio beat his son at the Triple Eight pay-per-view last night. Thanks to Pentagon. Or Penta, sorry. Those two guys are pendejos! How dare they beat my son! Man, your son got a, bitty boo-boo on his shoulder that might be serious. I hope not. No, he's okay. I massaged him, he's okay. Okay. If Eddie Guerrero says his son is okay, he's okay. But, we'll see. But thankfully, we don't have another live Raw till next Monday. So I don't know if he's going to be on that show, or he'll be on the January 5th show. in Brooklyn, New York at the Barclays Center. And no, I am not going because it's sold out. I think it's sold out. If not, maybe I could get an extra ticket if I had to sit in the nosebleed section. Maybe I'll go. Maybe, but I mean, Roman, my tribal chief, is on the show. So if I can scalp a ticket or get something on StubHub, I'm saying there's a chance. But most likely I will not go. Most likely. We'll see. But anyway. Alright, so Tom Phillips and Matthew Waywalt are our commentary team, as always, every Thursday night. Until otherwise told. Alright, so we get an opening recap looking at the War Games match with TNA and Team TNA and Team NXT. Pretty much, Team TNA is captained by Mike Santana. And Team NXT, I think the captain is Lexis King. Who cares? Alright, so we'll talk about that later. Alright, so we got the opening sequence, and we open up with a Battle Royal. You love to see those. And the winner gets a world title shot against Frankie Kazarian, who's on commentary, on the first Impact of 2026. That's the live show, I believe. Maybe the one before that, I think, but we'll see. I think it's the one before that or the AMC show. So we'll see. Alright, so we had Grandpa Eric Young, the man that goes all night long, all night. Rick Swan, Stephanie, almost said Stephanie Vercurr, but Stephanie DeLander's husband, Mance Warner, Myron Reed, and, well, most of the Rascals, Myron Reed, Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, who does not have a contract, Jake something, Moose, Jake Painter, that fake YouTuber BDE, Brock Anderson, not Lesnar, Brock Anderson, Cedric Alexander, Mophead himself, Bear Bronson, C.W. Anderson, no relation to Brock Anderson, well, obviously not, because Brock Anderson is related to Arn Anderson. Jesse Funaki, that's Funaki's son, by the way, one of his first matches in TNA, splitting image almost. Funaki, stop! SmackDown number one announcer! John Schuyler of the Great Hands, Judas Icarus, or Judas Icarus, or whatever you want to call him. Ryan Nemeth, that's Dolph Ziggler's little brother, or Nick Nemeth, the guy that parked East's car perfectly. Ryan just fears Marco's Pizza. My big brother! The hometown man, Cody Deaner, and Travis Williams. We got that. Alright. So this was a kind of boring battle royal. Wasn't great. I'm not going to go through all this. This just, yeah. 11-minute match. We're getting near the end. We're down to Ryan, Eric EY, Eric Young, Jake Something, Mance Warner, Bear Bronson, Moose, and Cedric Alexander. Final 7. We get a big stare down between all of them. Big old brawl breaks out. Jake Something gets thrown out. Mance Warner, with a bulldog driver on Moose, pretty much gets right back up, boots Mance out of the ring, so he gone. EY then double clotheslines Moose and Cedric Alexander. So down to the final 3, Bear Bronson, EY, and Ryan Nemeth. Bear Bronson tosses Ryan Nemeth out. So then EY throws Bear Bronson out, but somehow Bear Bronson holds on by his leg, basically. He was like, yeah, I won, look at me, I won. But EY, you too stupid. Bear Bronson gets up and is like, get over here, Grandpa! Threw him out like yesterday's garbage. And Bear Bronson, Mophead, gets a world title shot? Huh? Okay, we'll go with that. I think Kazarian might win that. So, hey, Mophead, Mop Boy, Bear Bronson. Well, we can't call him Mop Boy anymore because he cut his hair. But if you follow his indie career, like I have in Wrestle Pro and Creative Pro, a couple of indies around my neck of the woods. He had long hair, wet hair, looked like a mop. That's what we call him, Mop Boy. But, you know, left AEW because Bear Boulder, you know, that fucking idiot. Glad he got out of there. Him and then jacked Jameson, they went nowhere. So it was like, you know, his contract was up, and Tony Khan's like, I'm not gonna sign you, get out of here. So goes to TNA, now he's getting a world title shot. Guy has to be the luckiest guy in the world. I think he's gonna need a lot of luck beating Frankie Kazarian. But we get that. Match itself was garbage. I mean, 2.5 out of 5 stars, but still. Moving on. Alright, after that we got Team TNA all ready to end NXT. We hope. We'll see. And then, Gia Miller is backstage with Bear Bronson, says, I knew I would win, and all my scars tell a story, and now he's coming for the belt. If he wins, that is going to be probably one of the most shocking things in TNA. Not overall. I mean, for 2026, that would be a shocking pretty much thing, you know what I mean? So we got that. Moving on. Alright, so I get that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we go to the Knockout Celebrity Ladies, and we got some nice pieces of Aish, if you will. Xia Li, the TNA TNA Knockouts Champion, teams with her bestie, Xia Brookside. They take on Tessa Blanchard, who's trying to get, trying to mend things with, what's her name? Rosa Negro, after her, she called her the N-word. Now she's, well, you're a racist! So she's trying to mend fences. Yeah, like that's gonna work. Anyway, so she teams up with Mila Moore. Big woman. Woo! She is big. Not big fat! But, big tall. Like Last Legend tall. Where we get that? Anyway, Victoria Crawford and Robbie E. is out there with him. With them, I should say. I'm like, why? Okay. So we get to the match. It was great, but 11 minutes. Robbie E. pulls Xia off the apron. Why didn't the referee go, oh, you are out? Referee doesn't know how to do something! Do something! So we don't get a tag there. Xia Li then fights out of the tag. Brings in Xia Brookside. She comes in and cleans house. Kick to head. Drops Mila Moore. And, Xia then iconoclasms Xia Li. Ow. Onto Mila for a near fall as Tessa made the save. But then Xia Li hit the Warrior's Way. A spinning torture rack faceplant. So say that 5 times fast. Finished up Mila Moore in just a little over 11 minutes. Decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And that's that. Alright, then we get to my girl, Danny Luna. Coming off that bloody as fuck dog collar match with Indy Hartwell last week. She wants a Knockouts title shot. Well, that's one way to get one. But, we'll see what happens with all that. And we move on. And that gets 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to Robbie E. yelling at Mila Moore, Victoria Crawford, Tessa Blanchard, now known as the Diamond Collective. Nice, interesting name for a faction. Tessa says, I want any 3 knockouts to face them. You say any? You say any, and the prophecy might be calling, knocking on your door. Rosemary's like, oh, I'll fight. Don't tell me twice. Alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. we go back to ringside. We have a man with a guitar, that's Elijah. Who wants to walk with Elijah? So he chuckles about what he did to Mustafa Ali at Final Resolution, which involved dragging him away with a horse. Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. No. Yeah, that shows my age, because I remember seeing it as a little bitty Hulkster dude on reruns on Nick and Night and shit like that, but Wilbur! Anyway, so he starts singing about coming to El Paso, and then the Puerto Rican princess Tasha Steelz comes out with a podium, because, Order 4. So, Mustafa Ali comes out, complains about being dragged away by a horse. Elijah doesn't want to hear it. So then the Great Hands, John Skyler and, I forget the other guy's name. Can't think of his name. The Great Hands come out, they jump him, but Elijah dispatches them, and he goes to the stage where he has to move Tasha Steelz, which allowed Ali to get in a guitar shot to the back. Ow! So Elijah and Mustafa Ali got a little feud going on. Not that I care. I get that. Alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, Indy Hartwell says that she's down, but coming for the Knockouts title. So after, losing that dog collar match last week, she's a little bit upset, but she still is in the running for the Knockouts title. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, more segments. Typical TNA. But as I would like, a little less talk and a lot more action right here on my show. Alright, after that, we got to look at the X Division champion, Leon Slater, in that big match he had with Javon Evans taking on AJ Styles and Dragon Lee on Saturday's main event. And then, winning the gauntlet. What did he win? He won that fatal 4-way match to get a shot, and he's the number one contender to face the Buddha, who the Destroyer, who the Bringer of War, who Oba, who Femi, the NXT champion. That's gonna happen on New Year's Eve, coming up in 2 weeks. We also saw Moose appear on that show, getting an NXT North American title shot next Tuesday against Ego Ethan Page. He's gonna win. We'll see. Speaking of Moose, he wants the X Division title back that he lost to Mr. Leon Slater. But then second, Alexander comes in and says, No. I want shot. Me want title match. I like how he says, No, like Fala Ba would say. Big ups to my good buddy Fala Ba. How you doing, sir? What was I calling him? E Honda Light. Good guy, though. He's a good guy. You would think he's from Japan? No. Not. I think he's from Canada. He's from Canada, eh? Another guy from Canada, what's his name? Can't think of his name. It was a K, God. Kushida. Hey, I'm okay with having senior moments, because I forget sometimes. But Kushida's not from Japan. He's from Canada. Supposedly. But, I don't understand why all these Japanese guys are billed from, Osaka, Japan, but they really live in Canada. Why would you go to Canada? I mean, nothing wrong with Canada. As long as you live in a great cities like Calgary, Alberta, Canada, or Toronto, or Ottawa. Don't live in a shithole like Montreal or Vancouver. By the way, what the fuck is a Canuck? I mean, you could live in Saskatoon, like Brock Lesnar does. He lives in Saskatoon. Another great city is Edmonton. Was an old friend of mine used to say, Edmonton, after the Edmonds cookies and all the cakes and shit. Edmonton. Can't say Edmonton. He sounded, because he had an accent. Edmonton. What? I don't even know what happened to that guy. I care less. That's old school college days. Before I joined the sports show, I wasn't involved with him. He left when I got there, so I had a good run on that station. Number one rated show on that station. People loved it. General manager didn't, but fuck him. I'm kidding. No, I made amends with that guy. He hated me and my old partner, my old co-host, because I really like the Beavis and Butthead of that show. Yeah. Slow down, Beavis. Shut up, Butthead. Okay. Anyway. So yeah. But we made amends, at the reunion of the station and everything. 25-year reunion. That was pretty much one of the first actual dates I had with Rosa. I think it was a not the second. Had to be or third or fourth date. Because I met her the first time, went to the movies. Bad ending to that date, by the way. I don't want to even get into it. No, not that we had a fight or anything. It was just I don't want to go there. Second date, we went to the Met game. I think the third or fourth date, went to the South Street Seaport. Then we went to the reunion. And all my old friends that I knew from the radio station, I introduced Rose to them. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, Pete got a girlfriend? What? Because I was a shy guy back in my day, I didn't get with many ladies back then, But now, I still had a good sexy face, but, I was just too shy around the ladies, to get some action and stuff like that, It happens. But, around the 2000s, when 2000 started, I was like, started dating and everything, but, Then, I actually got laid around that time, in the mid-2000s. Before that, I was a shy guy. I mean, I kissed girls, but, never went further than that. I tried, but got a hickey and everything. Lap dances and whatever, but never full on. But, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Where was I? Alright, so Leon Slater against Oba, New Year's Evil, and then Moose facing Ethan Page next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday, December the 30th, and he wants the X Division title back, but Cedric says not so fast, so hold on there. Alright, then Frankie Kazarian, because the promo, isn't worried about Bear Bronson, promises to keep the title for as long as he feels like it. Well, pretty much up until maybe Genesis, when I think Mike Santana's going to get it back. Hopefully. But we'll see. Wraps with that. Alright. Then we get to pretty much the main event of the evening. War Games in a small cage, not the double ring, double cage match beyond. But anyway, Team TNA versus Team NXT. We had basically War Games rules, 2 minutes for the first period, then 1 minute after, which is different than the regular War Games match we would see at Survivor Series, with it's also, I think, 5 minute. I think the first two guys wrestle for about 5 minutes. I think every 2 minutes after, 2 or 3 minutes after that, another person comes out until everybody's in the cage, and then War Games begins. So anyway, so we had Mike Santana, Steve Macklin, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Broken Matt Hardy, yes, wonderful. Jeff Hardy, dude. And Santana Malala at number 5. You son of a gun. So they take on the resident virgin, Brooks Jensen, Lexus King, Tyson DuPont, and Tariq Igve of High Rise. And Stacks Mahomes, the Intercontinental Champion. So we get that. So it started with Mike Santana and Brooks Jensen in the cage. Jensen teased going through the door to start the match. But Mike Santana sends him into the cage like 50 times. I was like, damn, where's the blood in this match? I don't even think there was any blood. And then, he grabs a top rope superplex, so a big old crash, and then Lexus King comes in at number 2, because they had the advantage after last week. I forgot who won that. I think it was Stacks won the advantage match. Comes in with a cane, starts caning him down. Steve Macklin, the former Intercontinental Champion, comes in, even things out, sending Lexus King into the cage. Tyson DuPont comes in at number 3 for NXT, as, the next few entrances were like fast and furious. Matt Hardy comes in, Tariq Igve comes in, Jeff Hardy, and then Santino Marella and Stacks to finish this thing out. But then we get like the midpoint of the match, almost near the end, pretty much. The Righteous, who debuted in TNA about a week at Final Resolution, to beat the fuck out of the Hardys. So we got Vincent and Dutch. They take Matt to the back. That's not going to be good. And then Santino comes in to start the actual match. First fall or submission. So a pinfall or submission. Basic War Games rules. Santino cleans house only for Brooks Jensen to jump from behind. We go to break, come right back. Team TNA still we're in trouble. Jeff Hardy gets in a twisting stunner, not twist of fate per se, but twisting stunner. Santino hits some split stunners. And then see Macklin ties Stacks into the cage for a spear. Ow. And then it goes up. I think it goes up top. Not to the top of the cage per se. Goes up top, gets caught, and then we get the ever so popular Tower of Doom spot. And then, Santino puts his hands down his pants and grabs the Cobra! Can't do it like he does, I'm sorry. So he hits Jensen, sets up Mike Santana with spin the block. 1, 2, 3, Team TNA gets the win in just a little bit over 20 minutes. And Matt Hardy never even got in the cage. So, I'm thinking, okay, Matt's not in the cage, how does the match start? Now, we've seen that before, where Brock and Roman were fighting outside the cage, and then they eventually got in the cage to start the fucking thing and everything, but... Okay, we got that. Alright, so, TNA's version of War Games, 2.5 out of 5 stars. After the match, Santino, he glares at his son-in-law, Stacks Mahomes, but then his hot daughter, Ariana Grace, she backstabs her father, kneeing him in the nutsack. His meatballs, basically. And then Steve Macklin gets back in the cage, chases Stacks off. And we get that. And then we end the show properly. As we go to the back, Matt Hardy wakes up around a bunch of Hardy Boys merchandise. And then the Righteous promise to make him immortal. Immortal Matt Hardy, that'd be funny. And then Dutch offers him, I don't know what the fuck that was, but Matt gets up and then staggers away to end the show, so... Did he offer him some, like, weed? I don't know, maybe some condoms, so next time he bangs Rebby Hardy, he doesn't have to pop out a kid, you know? With his super sperm and impregnates Reby Hardy. I don't know. But we'll have to see what happens next week on the program with the Hardys and the Righteous going after the tag team belts. Hardy's contract is coming up soon, but I read on Ringside News, the Bible of all news talk, that the Hardys are probably going to be staying in TNA. They're going to renew their contracts. I think they should, for the AMC purpose. But a couple other guys that have that may or may not renew their contracts. One of them is Zachary Wentz, so I don't know what they're going to do. What TNA's going to do with some of the talent that basically have like 1-year deals or a few month deals, 6-month deals. I don't know if they're going to cut them or they're going to get rid of them. They go to AEW, they go maybe to WWE or Ring of Honor. I don't know. Alright, so we got that. Alright, so TNA wasn't that bad. So I gave it 6.5 out of 10 stars for basically 3 matches and a bunch of segments. That's typical TNA, just about. And that's pretty much it. Alright. Alright, after that, let's get to the ever so popular brand that is, well, promotion that it is, Ring of Honor. But first, we're going to take a sippy sip. Then that's that. Alright. Oh. Move on with that. Alright. Let's get to Ring of Honor, which emanated from the Utilita Arena in Cardiff, Wales, where Holiday Bash emanated from. And as always, on Ring of Honor TV, Ian Ricker Boring and the Pasta! My good buddy Caprice Coleman at ringside. We get that. Alright. So we had that one night only dark, I think it was this week, this past week. I didn't see it, but I really didn't want to. So we had that. Also Global Wars for Ring of Honor. So I think this was, yeah, this is Global Wars UK. So we got Ring of Honor versus the UK. That's pretty cool. We've seen that before in Ring of Honor. But anyway, so it wasn't a great show, but still, it is what it is. Alright. So we started with match number 1. The UK's own and Ocean Spray's big, basically his boy toy, Michael Oku with, I believe, his hot wife, Amira Blair. And, he takes on Rocky the Middlese. So, pretty decent match for under 10 minutes. Back and forth they went. Get to the end. And Rocky Romero was able to crotch Michael Oku on the top rope. Nuts! And a butterfly superplex into a cross arm breaker by Rocky Romero. That was pretty impressive. But Michael Oku switches... actually, Michael Oku hit that. Sorry. He switches that into a half crab. It gets reversed. Then Michael Oku goes with a jumping knee. Then locks in the half crab again. And Rocky Romero does what he does best. And that's tap out. So, decent match for under 10 minutes. And I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. And we move on. We're great to see England's own Michael Oku. Move on. Alright, match number 2. The man that's not really evil, Evil Uno, takes on Mark Davis of the Don Callis family. Nothing great here. Mark Davis wins with a running Lariato with all moves. And he beats him in a little over 6.5 minutes. Match is boring. Yeah. I don't know what... I still don't understand why the Dark Order is still a thing. But it is what it is. So I give that match 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, doing a video on Athena and Billy Starks and their recent issues as of late. I wonder where that's heading. Yeah, I think you know. Athena, Billy Starks 4 inside a door. I don't know. We got that. Alright, then, we have Madison Rayne. Of all people, Madison Rayne, former TNA Knockouts champion multiple times. She thinks she still has something to give, and she's coming for Athena and Diamante. After I think what happened last week. Okay. So, I got that. Let's see what happens with that. 2.5 out of 5 stars. 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, match number 3. Nina Samuels. Who? Who are you? What? What do you do here? What? Who the fuck is this chick? I mean, really, who the fuck are you? Anyway, she fights somebody we do know, and that's UK's own and the new Red Pro champion. The unified Red Pro Women's Champion from Britain. And that's Alex Windsor! Alright, this match lasted exactly 8.5 minutes. But hey, Nina, I don't even know who this Nina Samuels chick is, but she's done well in pretty much every promotion she's been in. Not that I've seen most of her work, but she is, she impressed me a little bit. But in the end, we got a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Nina Samuels. Drops Alex Windsor again, but she goes back with a big, hard clothesline. As we get a double down, and Alex Windsor comes back with a twisting superplex into the sharpshooter, and Nina Samuels tapped out in exactly 8.5 minutes. Match wasn't that bad, but still, 2.25 out of 5 stars. And we move on. Alright, these matches are going like fast and furious. Next match on the card, match number 4. Lee Johnson of the Swirl takes on Leo Rush, one half of the Omega Shenrons. I don't even know if there's still a team. Leo Rush and Action Andretti. I don't even think there's still a team, are they? I saw Leo Rush on Twitter, like, asking, hey, you know any good indie promotions? I know one. I know a couple, actually. I know a few there, Leo. If you want to know, hit me up on DM me on Twitter. I'll give you some promotions that you can come to if they want to book you. Some here in New York, some not here, but some here in New York and in Jersey. Hey, want to come to the Northeast? Come on down. Like Bob Barker on The Price is Right. Come on down. I'm gonna give you a refrigerator. Modeled by Diane! I had such a crush on Diane Parkinson back in the day. Oh. When she would wear those bikinis for, this, you're gonna win a new spa! Or a new sailboat or anything. She would wear like a one-piece bathing suit. And then later on, like the late 80s, early 90s, you would see Diane, basically naked. But for TV purposes, she wasn't naked underneath. They're not that, You would think The Price is Right would go to that length to sell fucking spas. I mean, come on. The perfect cameraman, like, ugh. I remember one episode, like, she was like, you would think she's naked, but she has a towel on. And you can see almost half her cleavage, and the camera is like zooming in, and Diane's like, no! The cameramen were more perverts than Bob Barker was back in the day, because he used to go out with Diane at certain points. I mean, Diane, you lucky girl, huh? I wonder what Bob Barker's price was to get Diane. I want to know. I would have bid on Diane. Shit. But, it is what it is. Anyway. Alright. So, Lee Johnson and Leo Rush. Pretty good match. Blake Christian at ringside. who cut off a dive early on in the match. Lee Johnson avoids a Gilly Kessa! Bang! Gets sent to the outside again. And then Leo Rush with one big time flippy dippity doo. Blake Christian gets involved again. And Lee Johnson it's a side slam for a near fall. Then they kind of went back and forth. We get to the end. And Johnson avoided a charge in the corner. Grabs a snap suplex. Leo Rush fights back, but has to deal with Blake Christian again, which allowed Lee Johnson to roll him with a fruit roll-up with a feet on the ropes, and the referee didn't see it. So, Lee Johnson gets the win in just under 7 minutes. Match was a little bit better, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Blake Christian gets on the mic and brags about how the Swirl started this show. What? And then Bandito, well, they were talking about Bandito, who wasn't really there. And then Blake, talks about snapping Bandito's arm at Final Battle. So he basically calls out, Bandito again for another world title shot. He already had one and lost. Why would you get another one? But anyway, but forget that. And then he stays at ringside to take on Angelico of the Spanish Announce Project. And they put on a pretty decent match. Nothing great. Match lasted under 7 minutes, so another 7-minute match. And Blake Christian gets the win after a Spanish Fly. I do that because it was Joe Maximo, my good buddy, my mentor. Gives Blake Christian a near fall of his own. Actually, Blake Christian got a near fall. And then hits the Victor injection. Finish Angelico off. Now, I don't know if Blake actually asked a Black Machismo Jay Lethal if he can use the lethal injection or he stole it. I don't know. But if I'm Jay Lethal, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you stealing my move? You know? Yeah, but wrestlers steal each other's moves anyway, so what's the point? Alright, so we get that. Match was 2.5 out of 5 stars. After the match, Blake goes after Angelico again, but then Serpentico, his tag team partner, he comes out, but he gets taken out. So probably be a tag team match coming out of that. Maybe next week on the program. And we get that. Alright, then we get to our next match, a non-title proving ground match, where if the opponent lasts the 10-minute time limit or beats the champion, they get a future title shot. But it's time for the women's TV title as Red Velvet from your mama's kitchen. She takes on the UK's own Session Martina. We've seen her in Ring of Honor a few times. I think we saw her in AEW for a little bit. Not too long. But she's the walking party girl, basically. And, gets Red Velvet to dance a little bit. So we got dancey, dancey, dancey. We got a little twerking, maybe. Why not? Then we get to some wrestling. They trade headlocks. Back and forth they went. But get to the end. Red Velvet kicks Session Martina down. Hits straight out your mama's kitchen. 1, 2, 3. And basically just under 4 minutes. So Red Velvet gets the win and stops Session Martina from getting a future title shot, basically. And that's it. And that's it. Alright. We move on with that. Take another sippy sip. One more for good luck. And that's pretty much it. Alright, now I'm gonna cut some dead air because the old PC is crashed, so I have to wait. That sucks. Let's go to some football. Why not go on the Teddy? Damn, the Steelers are beating the Lions 22-10. That helps the Niners a little bit because if the Lions lose, they go to 8-7, and I think they'll still be out of the playoff race because the Packers got the number 6 seed I think they're 9-5-1 or 9-6-1, something like that. No, I think they're 9-5-1 because they lost to the Bears last night in overtime. So that number 6 seed can go pretty much to the Niners, go to the Packers or the Lions, and we'll see what happens with that. So Jared Goff not having a good day at home. Oy. He's getting destroyed by Badgets, and it's just gonna double check. And the Steelers looking to get that number 4 seed, I believe. So we have that, and I think if the Steelers win the division, they get the number 4 seed. I think they face the number 5 seed, I believe it's the San Diego Chargers of all teams. Not the Chiefs, because they got eliminated. Yep, the Chargers at number 5. Buffalo at number 6. They could tie the division tonight if Otaku's Ravens win. And, the Colts and the Ravens are on the, pretty much one game, 1 or 2 games back of the Houston Texans, who got the number 6 seed. They would face Jacksonville if the playoffs started today. So it's 4th down for the Lions, 22-10. They're at the 27-yard line with 8:45 left. So even if they kick the field goal, they would still have to get the ball back. 1st down. Oh, he walked in for a touchdown! Oh boy. 8:39 left, and the Lions could be down. They're down by 6 right now. If they kick the extra point, they'll be down by 5. And if their defense holds the Steelers to a 3 and out, they get the ball back, they could probably go downfield and probably win this game. So Niner fans, hold on to your seat right now. And Packer fans, you're like, uh-oh. Your old buddy, Mr. Rodgers, not doing, he's winning now. It's a 5-point game with 8:39 to play. So we'll see. So getting down to those good games. And we had a good game last night with the Bears and the Packers, 22-19. As the Bears, I think, got 16 unanswered points in the 4th quarter to tie the game, and then they win it on a field goal. So they control the NFC North and the number 2 seed. So if the playoffs started today, they would face the Packers in the wild card round. Niners would face the Eagles, who beat the Commanders to win the division last night. Because the Cowboys got eliminated last night after the Eagles won. So Eagles are, the Super Bowl champs. Up and down, up and down, up and down, like my dick in your mom's ass. So, but they can be beat. So if the Niners have to go through Philly to get to the NFC division round, if the playoffs started today and if they hold serve here, but I think the Niners can beat the Eagles in Philly, gonna get revenge for 2023. When they injured Brock Purdy, his elbow, his UCL, which became a little bit of a problem in 2024. Not so much, 23-24. But we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Alright, so Red Velvet, back to wrestling. Red Velvet gets the win with straight out your mama's kitchen. And she gets the win in just under 4 minutes. Match was nothing great. Alright, then William Yuta, the man who fears himself, he comes out and issues an open challenge. And who should come out but England's own, one of the best Ring of Honor pure and world champions in history. One of the longest reigns in Ring of Honor history as well. I think it's second to Samoa Joe's long, almost 2-year reign. And that's the man who does commentary for Collision, and that's Nigel McGuinness, me love. So he comes out and accepts the open challenge, but he tells William Yuta that he ended Bryan Danielson's career and that killed the Batman to his Joker. So he wants revenge for that. That kind of makes sense, actually. Because, even though Nigel and Bryan Danielson had an epic match earlier this year, I believe, which Danielson won. But yeah. So we get to the match. It was a pretty decent match for a William Yuta match. I hate admitting it was a good match. But William Yuta still sucks dick, so. But it is what it is. William Yuta's the type of guy that puts on a condom wrong. How do you do that? How do you put this on? No wonder the ladies, leave him. You can't put a condom on correctly? What's fucking wrong with you? Well, let me do the pull and pray method. Oh, you failed that too. William Yuta thinks pull and pray is pull my finger, fart, and then pray. I mean, dude. That's, pretty much it. Alright, but anyway, the match was good. Under 11 minutes, back and forth match they went. William Yuta locks Nigel in cattle mutilation. Oh, we've seen Nigel in that before, if you follow Ring of Honor like I do. Back in the day. I was there for some of those matches. I was there for the last match with Nigel and Bryan Danielson when Bryan Danielson was going to WWE. That match was fucking epic. I think it was like Final Battle, I forget. But I was there in the front row. In 2008, I think it was 2008 or 9. I think it was 2009, actually. 2008 or 9. That was fucking epic. Singing Final Countdown, getting my hand slapped by Bryan Danielson, the great man that he is. Yes! There we get that. But now we know Bryan Danielson as Brian Fagelson Danielson Commentatorson. He does some good commentary for a guy that, you would never think he'd do commentary. Hey, if it worked for Punk and it worked for Kenny and it worked for Adam Cole, baby, I mean, dude. Hey, I could do commentary. And I have. Just didn't go anywhere. But it will. Hopefully. So, call Tony Khan, DM him up the wazoo, and tell him, sign Peter Joseph right now. Do it now. Not then. Now. Everything I'm saying right now, I want you to do right now. What happened then? Fuck you. You missed it. Now. Not then, not soon, but now. DM Tony Khan and give him my handle. Some of you know it, but it's in the description box. DM Tony Khan up the wazoo and tell him this guy can do some great commentary. I'll do Ring of Honor commentary with Caprice Coleman. Get Ian Riccaboni off that fucking place, man. Get him out of here. Spanish Archer. Get out. Good guy, but I prefer Kevin Kelly over him. I'm just saying. That's pretty much it. Alright, so back and forth match, like I said, Nigel has to get out of cattle mutilation, but somehow it gets out of that. Hits a running Tiger uppercut in the corner, and then William Yuta comes back with a goes for the running Bicycle knee, a la Bryan Danielson. That gets cut up with a hard clothesline, and then Nigel tries for the London Dungeon as one of his submissions. William Yuta escapes that momentarily. Then they trade cross faces until William Yuta uses the ropes to escape, but then William Yuta gets blasted by a big time Lariato, And Nigel gets the win in his home country, which is great, in under 11 minutes. But match was pretty damn good, and I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. Great. And that ends Ring of Honor on a good note. So, not a bad show from Ring of Honor. Not that shabby. For once! Maybe they gotta go to the UK more often, you know? Put on some bangers. Here and there. Here and there. Some bangers. Not big bangers, but... we got that. And, I think... oh. Well, it was a 5-point game. Now it's 12 because Rodgers and his discount double check threw a touchdown. Well, I think he threw a touchdown or the guy ran it in. Probably ran it in. But 29-17 Steelers, 6:41 left. So Lions have to get a quick touchdown, maybe a 2-point conversion. Maybe a quick 2-point conversion. Maybe get the ball back with a few seconds left. And then, you never know. But right now, Niner fans, still a little, you're happy for now, but still, anything can happen in 6.5 minutes of football. And that's pretty much it. There's no game on Fox right now, so after this game, we go right to the Ravens-Patriots game on Sunday Night Football. Should be good. Otaku's ready for that game. Wish good luck. And we get that. Alright, so that ends Ring of Honor. And I also gave Ring of Honor 6.5 out of 10 stars. So both shows, 6.5 out of 10 stars. And that's pretty much it for my TNA Ring of Honor review for this week. And, well, that's the final actual review for this year. So thank you for watching all my TNA Ring of Honor reviews that I've done over this past year. We will be back next year, 2026, with more TNA Ring of Honor reviews. The first official review for TNA on AMC. That will happen. More predictions for Genesis coming up, and some other mini events coming up in 2026 as well. And we'll see what happens with all that. But once again, thank you so much for letting me come into your homes every Thursday or whenever I do the TNA Ring of Honor videos. Sometimes I miss it, so because I got other things in my life to do and worry about, so I can't do everything. But I like doing the TNA Ring of Honor reviews, because not a lot of people do TNA Ring of Honor reviews here on YouTube. I think you should start, thinking about that. And I'm one of the guys that does TNA Ring of Honor reviews. I know another guy. He does TNA. He does mostly TNA reviews on Thursday nights. Some Ring of Honor reviews here and there, but so you can watch him. You can watch me. You can watch. There's a few people that do it, but but come to the big source here when I give you a lot of analysis and other good stuff. Alright, so that's it. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to have my early dinner pretty soon with the missus. We're going to watch some Sunday Night Football. And then we'll be back on the Peter Joseph channel with your Holiday Bash Night 1 review for Dynamite and Collision. And probably early tomorrow, we'll talk about Collision from this yesterday, the 2:30 p.m. show. We'll talk about that. And then pretty much we'll get to Raw and NXT. And then we're pretty much done with the video, so I am taking a break after Christmas. So, as of December 25th, I'll do one video on Christmas, and that'll be it. I might do Christmas. Bleh. Yeah, I might do a video, maybe 1 or 2 videos on Christmas, and then from the 26th till the ball drops, I'm out of commission. But I will be putting up some community posts. I'll be on Facebook. I'll do some Twitter posts. So if you follow me on social media, you can get my mini reviews. And other than that, But like I said, I will not be doing any videos unless it's something very important. But I might just pop up, just give you like a quickie short, like a 3-minute short. It's like, hey, this happened, or this person died, or whatever. But like a major person dying, I will come back. Like about a year or two ago, I came on, and Betty White passed away, and if you follow YouTube, a couple years ago, Charlie Wolfcale passed away. So we did those couple videos, but most of the time I was on Facebook doing live shows. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. So I'm just gonna just take a couple of days off from YouTube, pretty much a week off from about 6 days off. So I'll be off for a couple of days after Christmas for a little break to reset and come back stronger, and start 2026 off with a good old-fashioned ghillie cutter. Bang! And the first video of the year will be after the ball drops. So we'll wish you guys a happy 2026 after the ball drops, and after I pretty much come back from my New Year's Eve festivities with me and the missus and everything. So I'll do that video, and then on New Year's Day, I will come back with my year in review video on episode, I believe, 97 or 98 of the Shadows Lair, and we'll do that video, and then we'll talk about I'll do like a long video, talk about some things that happened on Raw, and NXT. But I'll do one video for that, for Raw and NXT. I'll do like a mini video, talk about Raw, a little bit of NXT sprinkled in, and then after that, probably that Friday, that early Friday video, probably Friday afternoon, January the 2nd, 2026, I will do a full review of Dynamite, the live New Year's Eve show, and then if I have some time, I might do TNA Ring of Honor for the New Year's Day show, unless it's recaps. And then, that weekend, we'll talk about SmackDown for the first show of the new year, the 3-hour show, which is going to be huge. We'll talk about that. And we'll get pretty much back on, the normal basis with reviews and predictions and all that other good shit. So a couple more videos to go, guys. So please hit that bell now, so you get the videos that are coming later tonight, tomorrow, Tuesday, nothing on Christmas Eve, and we'll talk a little bit on Christmas, and then I will say goodbye for the year, here on YouTube. I'll still be around, like I said, maybe a few community posts, but mostly, if you want my mini reviews, go to my Twitter page, or my Facebook, if you find it, and that's pretty much it to get all the good stuff. Alright, Lions just scored, a quickie score, make it a 5-point game again with 4 minutes remaining, 29-24. So it's a back and forth seesaw match right now. So, we'll see what happens if the Steelers can, the Lions can get the ball back with maybe couple minutes left of the game, or who knows. But another wide open pass as the linebacker fell on his ass. Guy just walked in again. So we got all that. So still anybody's game, and Lions are still fighting for their lives right now to get to that number 7 seed. So we'll see. So, Niner fans are still kind of praying, so Rodgers hopefully doesn't screw up on his drive. But knowing him, he sucks, so we'll see what happens with that. Alright, I'm out of here. I'm going to watch the end of this game, eat some din-din, maybe watch Sunday Night Football. I'll be back later tonight, maybe in a couple hours, with your Dynamite and Collision review for Holiday Bash Night 1. Over on my Peter Joseph channel. So, a 2 for Sunday, coming your way later on. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Until next time. If you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for ya. Fuck you, man. And that's it. Stay obsessed, fuckers. Because you know you love me. That's it. Until next time. Peace.